Love from us, from the studios of TV3 to you out there. My name is Miss Nancy, and this is Confessions. All through the year, we've been giving you stories that made you say, oh my God, hey, esi, sikanashe, asemwediehu. This is complicated. I've never heard this before. Some of you thought that these were fictitious stories, but they are not. These are real life stories that we share on Confessions with you every weekend. And we know that lives has been touched. We know this because the blogs have been on us. The stories have been doing great all over Ghana, into other African countries, and we are delighted. We've been trending all over, and you can see that. We're grateful to the blogs that are putting our stories out there as life experiences so that other people can learn from it. We are truly grateful to the production team. You are awesome. And also to the management of Media General and our blogs, TV3online.com, OnuaFMonline.com, and all of you that has given us the support. Tonight, we sit and we review the stories that awed you and more. It's going to be a great one. Do not go away. I will be right back. Welcome back, and I am seated, and with me tonight to do this review and more, my great gentlemen. We should show them some love because all through the year, these gentlemen have been with us, especially Counselor Edumata. It's always a delight to have you, man.
It's awesome. It's awesome.
I have also with me Kelly Daniels. And Kelly, you've been amazing.
Thank you very much. Nice to be here.
And Happy New Year.
Thank you very much.
And for the first time, I have Pastor Abraham Boateng, who is also here. He is affectionately called Pastor Little. Now, you got my American slang in. Pastor Little. And I'm Pastor Little. And I have the man with the mic. And it's the first time on Confessions.
Yes.
Put your hands together for him. It's great to have you. It's wonderful to commence the year with all of you. And to you, my studio audience, oh my God, I wish I could kiss every one of you. I love you guys. I love you. I love you. Mwah, 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 mwah. Plenty of kisses for you. Let us get to that story. A story that took us from Ghana into Nigeria, into many African countries. El Sofumami, a pastor's wife that says that my husband has done them all. From the young to the old, the married and the unmarried. And he does it when he's doing the counseling at the church premises. This woman has every evidence to know, to let the world know what the husband is doing. She's thinking about the church, a mega church. It's big. That is where she gets to be fed. That is where her children get to, survive. How does she give out this information without messing up the church? And it was great. Let's take a look at that story, and then we come to the studio and discuss.
I'm married to a pastor, a known pastor. And I'm saying no, not just only Ghana alone, but beyond. Our church population is something that one will wish to even have for some part of the country.
Yeah.
And we have a lot of people believing in him, believing in our word and everything. I can't really say where to start. This whole new behavioral things I'm seeing started. But with everything I've seen on this phone, I could say it has started for long. We have counseling sessions, mostly on Mondays, and sometimes we do on Wednesdays.
Like most churches.
Yeah, most churches does. And when it's very critical and it has to be a really serious situation, he has other days that he opens for you to come see.
Okay.
And all this takes part in his church office.
Okay.
You know, as also for Mame, in one way or the other, my man was called before he even got married to me. So I have to believe in his word as being a pastor.
Of course.
And most of the times in the counseling, most people who come are women, both single and married, which he has to attend to them alone.
Of course.
Miss Nancy, I've never seen any disadvantage and everything going on until one day I popped upon my husband's phone and I read a message. And out of the message is why I did aim to find out what more is going on. Currently, there was a woman who came to see my husband, the pastor. And from every chat going on, it looks like they are having sexual intercourse. Like they are making love in the office. And for more than 6, 7, 8, I can't count, chats of messages on the phone, he has slept with every single one of them.
Slept with almost all the women
All of them.
that come to his office for counseling.
Miss Nancy, this is serious. It's no joke.
I mean, the women that go for counseling, some of them are young, some are older, some are married.
I even have like a 17-year-old girl I'm talking about being part of the people he has slept with.
That's
And-
underage.
And I question myself not understanding what's going on. And from look of things, he gives them money, because money is not something my family worry about. Even think of my husband worrying about it. He gives them money. Some he has even bought cars, lands for them.
All to bribe them or all to keep them in his life, or what is he doing with
From
so many
one
women?
chat that I popped upon, I think it's more like the girl didn't expect that happening. I think she said she's in her 20-something. The girl didn't expect that happening. The girl I'm talking about is more like my goddaughter, someone who looks up to me in the church. And from he having everything with her, he made her know it's more like a contract. So
he is a prophet.
yeah, he's a prophet.
Wonderful.
He gives miracle, he gives prophecy. There's some things that we do just pure prophecy, having people falling. Now, I even doubt what he's doing, if it's called for from God or from wherever it's coming from.
You fell in love with his giftings, didn't you?
I fall in love with a man of God. A man when I met, knowing he's doing the work of God and knowing I sing as well at church.
Oh, perfect combination. The preacher
Knowing-
man and the singer. So right now, what is your challenge?
My challenge now is when I saw the whole thing, I confronted him, thinking he would feel all sorry, say he won't do it again, or maybe, you know, a normal lie people say is the work of the devil or thereabouts. But trust me, he feels boldly strong about it. He didn't see anything wrong with it. Be like, we give what to Caesar, and at the end, there's his own way of doing things, and it's not that, but some come and he yearns for the body fantasy and he couldn't. He didn't feel any sorry.
So people come to him with their challenges, sometimes with even their confessions, for him to give them divine counsel. And he ends up having these women, the young, the old, the married, and the unmarried. This is also for Mommy. If she comes out with this conversation, this confession, she is either breaking her home and the church or everything together. What does she do? Now, that was quite a story. I saw all manner of things on social media, people using this narration and adding certain pastors' pictures to it and all of that. Even pastors that are not even in Ghana. The story was so real. I mean, it sounded like other people's lives right there. And Pastor Little, it's amazing that tonight our first story is about pastors, and you happen to be here. I'm even sorry for you, but I'm sure that your brothers are dependent on you. It was quite a story. It did trend, and a lot of people took it very personally. Like, we could see the story with other men of God's pictures and all. It was real in a lot of lives beyond Ghana, and it was quite touchy.
Yeah. Okay, thank you, Miss Nancy, and to our wonderful, those watching us from home and around the world. This is a very practical and a real issue that's happening in the contemporary church, in corporate institutions, organizations. The Akan proverb tells us that entomakata, so literally, the cloth covers a lot of things, to which there are a lot of things under the carpet that cannot come to light. We see, I would interpret the action of the woman, also for Mame, as love in a certain context, in that she wants to protect the image of the husband, and she wants to protect the image of the church. And want to let the enhancements of the work of God, in quote, continue. Two key issues, we have to take into consideration two key issues. First of all, is this man ready to reform, ready to change? Then he can be helped. The church, indeed, is a hospital for sinners. It's a place that, not the righteous, the saints are in heaven already. And it's we who are sinners, who have setbacks that are in the church. And a lot of people have a certain perception in the contemporary context that pastors, churches are supposed, and even some pastors post that the pastors don't have problems. And that is a deception. Pastors have problems.
They have weaknesses.
CEOs
like
have
all of
weaknesses,
us.
have
Leaders
many
all over
challenges.
the world.
So pastors should come out and acknowledge, I have a challenge, I have a problem. I am not perfect. I have my weakness, and I'm working on it. So there's a theological dispensation that says we are saved, we are being saved, and we'll be saved to the uttermost.
Continuous
Work
present.
in progress.
Yes.
This pastor, in quote, like Nigerians to say, knocking all the women, enjoying all the women from married to not married in the church, it's pathetic. If he wants to change, then the churches have systems to help him.
Yeah.
And the wife has ignited the system already. So he should just apply himself to what is happening.
All right.
Seek help from other pastors. If he has a senior pastor, he has the system, go to them, tell them the truth. This is my challenge. This is what I'm going through. Help me out of it. And the wife also, the dimension of the wife, if this man is not ready to change and she continues to shield him, then she is doing a useless job. So if he is ready to change, then we help him change. If he's not ready to change, then the wife should come out, because people's daughters are being abused. People's wives are being molested and the like. But if this person have the mind that I need help, I want to change, then we help the person.
Awesome. So if the man is ready to change, there would be positivity out of this. And I'm happy to let Ghana know that this story shook almost all the churches in Ghana. And those that were on the line to sin, they withdrew because they realized that we are aware and we are alert. The husbands started marking the wives that spent too much time in the church. People started getting, interested in all the things out there. So we can tell you that, hey, we have impacted lives and we're doing something amazing. Councillor Dumata.
Yes, Ms. Nancy.
I'd want you to address the fact that when it's in the church, we're always asking the church to help. And the church does not want to break the church. So the church ends up covering up for the church. Beyond the church, where can the pastor get help?
Great question. And thank you so much. You see, just like Pastor Little said, before you became a pastor, you were yourself. You know who you are. Being a pastor, you have not changed. So you know you're exactly who you are and how you put things right. So if you really want to get it right, then this pastor should go back to examine his real being. His real self. You see, before you go for a help, you yourself, you must know exactly where you stand and where you're coming from. Because if you always go in denial, you will never find a solution to it. You will never get it. So I still want to challenge the pastor that if you really want to have help,
that pastor and the other ones whose wives have not come out with their stories.
Exactly. First of all, stand in front of a mirror and really do a detour of yourself by asking, who are you? What is it that you are in for? Are you for yourself, or you are for the people, or you are for the ministry? It is when you draw a line and say, this is who I am, that is where your solution starts.
Awesome.
So when you meet the person that you want the person to talk to you, you tell the person where your nitty-gritties are in terms of where you fall short.
Be open about your weaknesses.
And don't go denial, and don't go shift it and say, "Bonsambi na ye me, sasa bonsambi if ye be before." No, it's you. You see, at times we need to hit it right on us.
Take responsibility.
Exactly, and that's where it starts from.
Thank you.
So that's what I'll say.
Thank you, Councillor. That was a good one, people. That was a good one. Kelly, I want to come to you. Do we say that Councillor is saying, look at yourself, look at your strengths, look at your weaknesses. If you think you are a man that is easily overwhelmed and you see the short woman and you're like, oh my gosh, she's pretty. You see the tall one, I love, she's taller, I'd want to experience that. That's light skin, that's that. You know that you have issues with women. Can we say that looking at your weaknesses, you should stay away from a career that would expose you to this kind of weakness?
Thank you, Ms. Nancy. There is no career that doesn't have its own hazards.
But the pastors own the women. It's extreme.
There's no human being qualified to be a pastor on earth. Every pastor has his own issues he should deal with at every point in time. It's just that those things should be worked on the path of your journey. It means the more
By that time, you would have done 500 women on the path of your journey.
The truth of the matter is, this is not to stand for any pastor. I'm just saying the fact that the pastor is a pastor says that he was first a man before he became a man of God.
Yeah.
If we say that everyone should be absolutely void of impediments before they serve God, no one will be qualified. And so that's why I feel, or I believe that on your journey, admit to your closest circle. Every pastor must have an accountability circle to say, look, I am a clergy person. This is the assignment before me. However, these are the impediments that might debar me from achieving what I want to achieve or what I believe God has led me to do.
The sight of
the breast, the hips, the curves, the complexions,
all of them
the
get to
hair.
you, man of
God?
God?
You kidding me? I'm a man.
Oh, you're a man.
A man before of God.
He's a man before the of God.
And so before I become a man of God, I'm first of all a man. And I'm dealing with the issues of sight. Every single day, there's no profession that has women in front of them as much as pastors do.
That's what I'm saying.
We deal with these things on a daily basis. And
so why don't you become an internet one? One that doesn't have a congregation sitting right in front of me. One that wouldn't have Miss Nancy.
Do you think that is devoid of trouble?
Even if you are a cyber pastor, you can't be a cyber pastor for the rest of your life. And one access to exposure could be that moment where you fall. So it's either you find an accountability system wherein you are checked, not because they see you as evil, but because they love you enough to watch your back. You need to have accountability. Your wife is your first accountability partner. If there's any reason at all something should happen, let your wife be the first to know.
Some of them are doing it and they do not even have wives.
Well, you don't even need to be married to have an accountability partner. You need to have people in your circle who would say, hey, I love you too much to allow this to keep happening. You need to go on suspension for some time, go on a personal retreat, 4 days, 1 week, come back. They don't need to know where you've gone to, but when you come back as a better person than you were before you left.
Thank you,
Accountability is key.
Miss Nancy.
Man.
I won't hold brief for any pastor, but I want to hit the church.
Hit him.
And also, please forgive me, we put the pastors on a pedestal and we treat the of God part more than the man part. So then, when this man is having challenges, they feel like, hey, I have been made of God. How do I then come back down for them to see that I'm a man? So the pastor, this one I don't know if he's repentant or not, but even the repentant ones are afraid to speak up because we have put them on a pedestal. I'm all for respecting pastors. I respect my pastors. But we have to understand that they were men before they became men of God. So we should give them that treatment as men. Cut them that slack as men and women so that when they fumble, when they fall, they can come clean. Otherwise, we are in trouble.
You young lady, that's a good one, man. You the young lady that is going to church with a skimpy little dress. You that woman that is showing too much, that is inappropriate for a church setting and expecting the man of God to only be the of God and not the man. You are also to blame. This is what we learned from the story. The next story coming up, let us look at the confession and I'll be right back. My dear, what is your story?
Okay, so my story is simple, but it's complicated. This is it. I'm married for 6 years now, and I have feelings for the other gender. That's the guy, so homosexualism. Yes, so I have a friend, he's my best friend. He normally comes to my house, my place. We do everything together, and we share ideas together, and we are into something together too as well. Planning of even getting, maybe getting married and moving moving from my marital home and be with him and spend the rest of our life together.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay. And what brings you here?
Well, initially I love my wife though.
Do you still love your wife?
Yeah, I do love her, but...
You will make love to your wife and you will make love to your other person?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
So I'm a bit confused on who to choose now because I'm also into the guy and I want to move out of it and be with him. So that's
You want to leave your family, your wife, and go be with your other partner because you think that the feelings there are stronger?
It's stronger. And I'm so confused. I don't even know what to do because I've been with my wife for 6 years and I've also been with him a long way. So I just want to come out from it and move on with my life and continue with him.
What is the rush? If you have been able to manage your relationship with your wife and your partner, is your other partner giving you pressure? Like he needs you all to himself, so leave your wife? Or what is pushing you to leave if you say you love your wife?
It's feelings. I think it's the feelings because feelings change sometimes. And I feel I'm more comfortable there.
With your
as I said, it's complicated. So personally, I just want to move on. Just confused.
After 6 years of marriage, he says and admits that he's into other people, precisely same gender. He has feelings for this other partner. He is into him and he loves his wife and the years they've spent together. How does he move on and tell her that I'm letting you go, not because of another woman, but because of another man? How does he tell her? Well, oh, that story I personally wished was not true, but it was so true. And, you know, after that story of a man professing that he's in love with his best friend, these days when I see guys hugging, I look at them again. I once was with a gentleman that was speaking to his friend on phone, and when they were cutting the call, the guy went like, "Love you, man." I was like, hey! I don't know. But these are the things that are happening in our society. And this one, I would want you people to come out and young lady, you just get married and your husband says that, oh, you are wonderful, you are beautiful, look at your legs, your dark skin, you are perfect for me, you never cheated, you've been great, but I'm in love with another man and I want to leave you and spend the rest of my life with that other man. How would you feel?
I would feel very bad, because there's no problem with me and you are leaving me for a man. Not even a woman, a man.
If it was a woman, you could live with it, right?
I'll cope.
Yeah.
I'll manage. But a man, it's not right.
She says if it's a man, she cannot deal with it. But if it's a woman, it kind of makes sense. I mean, there is another young lady behind. Yes.
Thank you very much, Ms. Nancy. I think it's quite insulting because you personally attested to the fact that there's nothing wrong with me. And upon all the people you could leave me for, you decided to go for your gender. And you already know it's a taboo. Ghanaians don't accept it. The Christianity world don't. I don't even think the Muslims also accept it. So why would you choose to go for a man? And not just any man, your best friend too. So just maybe I would be thinking, oh, my husband is chilling with his best friend, but they're actually doing stuff. Like it will just break you down as a lady. It will just wreck you. That's it.
She says that the confidence thing about your man leaving you for another man, that's the hurt. If it's another woman, they can live with it. Man. You see a colleague or a friend and he starts saying that man has got beautiful eyes. Imagine.
Let's be fair to men. We have emotions, okay? So you could actually end a phone call and say, love, man.
You've been saying I love you to Kelly
I'm just saying that. Let's be fair to men. We also have emotions. There's nothing wrong with that.
Disclaimer, Miss Nice.
I mean, in these days, well...
Yes, but let's look at it this way. This guy, at the risk of being judgmental, or rather, in an attempt to not be judgmental, I won't say anything about what he wants to do with another man. Why did he get married in the first place? If that's what he wanted, he should have stayed away.
He wasn't sure that's what he wanted.
Oh.
He wanted to be accepted
Miss
by
Nancy,
society.
I can bet you he's been doing this with his best friend since before he got married.
Or probably been feeling it, but was not
He's likely
acting
been
on
doing it since before he got married. And if he knew this is the way he swings, he should have swung that way. Now he's picked up somebody's daughter, messed them up emotionally, psychologically, mentally, and they are going to leave them. For who to come and fix that problem?
For some of you, the one that is taking the heart of your husband or your wife is not another man or woman. It is same sex. A man taking your husband from you, a woman taking your wife from you. Counselor.
Yes.
I think Kelly is ready, right?
Okay, Kelly.
You see, that word you mentioned, counselor, is actually what I want to deal with. We don't thoroughly go through counseling before marriage because we believe we love each other and nobody knows us like us, so we're good to go. There are questions a counselor would bring up that would never have crossed your mind should you have relied on your own intelligence on choice.
You are talking about professional counseling,
I'm
not
talking
necessarily
about
the church.
Counseling professionally.
Yeah.
There is pastoral counseling and there's professional counseling. Pastoral counseling is for your spirituality and making sure you go to heaven. A professional marital counselor ensures that your marriage is the best that it can ever be for as long as the earth remains.
Yes.
Now, you can't give your malaria issues to a dentist.
No.
You can't ask a mechanic to fix your air conditioner washing machine.
Yeah.
His business is with your car. So, Pastor, I respect you. I want to go by the rules of the church, but allow me have a personal counseling with a professional who is schooled to manage this part of my life. That is what is lacking in many, many, many marriages. Number one. Number two, would you listen when a counselor suggests? Because a counselor doesn't tell you what to do, but a counselor suggests to you what you should do, looking at the aftermath of what could happen should you not listen.
Yeah.
But you see, many times our minds are made up on what we want, and we just go to counselors for formalities to put a stamp on what we have endorsed by ourselves. But counseling is not a field to let you know that you're good together. Counseling is supposed to expose you as a person to yourself.
Punch holes into what you think is perfect.
So it shows you to yours, it mirrors you to feel, to see whether you're even qualified to be in a relationship as a human being at that time. And then if you're good enough for somebody, and if you're good enough for this particular person you've presented, very key.
Thank you.
So
that's a good
it's
one.
when you check all of this, you now say, okay, let's start planning. But then most of the time we come with our wedding dates, IVs all over the place. The cooks have been paid, and they say, hurry this thing. We're going.
I get
It is a major deficiency in the church.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Kelly, I want, finally, I needed your opinion.
Miss Nancy, let me say this.
Counselor Dumata,
Yes, ma'am.
I need you to...
Quick one.
Yes.
Whatever this man had done.
Counselor, let me ask you a question, please.
Yes, ma'am.
Counselor.
Yes, ma'am.
If I come to you and I tell you that, yes, my husband is not going anywhere, but I know that besides me, there is another man in my husband's life, or besides me, there is another woman in my wife's life, what would you tell me?
Before marrying, or you have already married?
We are married. We have children.
Wow.
My husband is doing other men. What would you tell me?
Okay. First of all, we need to address the issue by calling the man and asking. This one, if you're doing it, you don't rely on opinion. You must have facts. I mean, a detailed fact, sequential. Prove that, hey, man, this is what you've been doing all these years. These are what you say. Your response to that question tells us you are remorseful, you are regretful, and you're going to change. So you do not just go straight and say, hey, Jano, a man in court. No, we need to find out, and it should be factual.
He says you just cannot tell him that because you found out your husband is also involved with another man, you should let him go. I see the way I'm laughing. I'll be right back. Well, that was something. And then we're wrapping up the story on the man that is in love with another man. There is a pastor here. Definitely, I would want to know his opinion, and then we move on to the next story.
Thank you, Miss Nancy. And it's reality. You see, women who are married, besties, the term, besties. So this, she comes home to the wife, my wife's best friend, my husband's best friend, and these besties are, somebody said, dangaros, dangerous. Committing a lot of evil. We'll say that let this young man be real to himself and seek help. If not, he's selfish, he's wicked, he's scandalous, he's all the bad terms, because you've taken somebody's daughter and you're taking her through this. Seek help, find a way. And to add something very little, let's not, those of us who are in secondary schools, at the universities, who are now coming up, let's not get into such practices.
Because it's difficult to
be out. And most marriages are what we term ceremonial marriages. On the surface, they are married, but people are going through things.
Make your marriage not just a ceremonial one. Our next story, please watch it.
I'm a 24-year-old lady who lost my biological parents at the age of 5. Fortunately for me, there was a kind lady that took me in and took care of me together with her child.
Okay.
We also lost her. Now, after her death, we had to struggle. Every day was a challenge, so we had to be doing menial jobs to make ends meet. We had this friend that was living a very luxurious life. She was rich, she was comfortable, she looked good.
Always. We all have those friends.
True. We were envious of her and decided that why not ask her how she's living her life? How did she get to that point in the first place? And she told us that she visited the northern region.
Okay.
And did some purifications. And at the end of the day...
She went to the north to purify herself.
Yes, please. And at the end of the day, she got the money and everything.
Whoa.
And then for us, we were thinking, oh, if it's just purification, I mean, that is really nothing we could do.
I mean, purification, you just think about taking a bath with some leaves or something, right?
So, I mean, together with my half sister, we decided that we'll go, but I think she got cold feet and she opted out. But for me, I was still with the idea that it was just purification, so why not? It was supposed to be a 7-day trip, and our rich friend advised that when we are traveling, on our way there, we take a bus.
Okay.
But when returning, we use flight.
Okay.
That was the condition she gave, and I was fine with it. So I packed up and went there. 7 days, there was incantations here and there in the name of purification.
Yeah.
On the 7th day, however, the fetish priest was like, there was one last thing I had to do to fill the whole purification thing. Come to think of it, what at all would it be? Only for me to find out that I had to sleep with a priest, which was considered a sin.
You had to sleep with a priest?
Yes, please.
A man?
Yes, please.
Young or old?
I mean, middle-aged.
Okay.
Yes. And considering the fact that I was a virgin, it was quite painful.
You were a virgin?
Yes, please. It was quite painful to think that my first experience is with a fetish priest.
Not a man you love or adore.
No chemistry.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I didn't want to live the life my friend was living, so I was like, if it's just one night,
something's gotta give.
Yes. So I gave in.
How was it? I mean, he would talk to you and then he did it all. Did you kiss?
It was boring, you know, but I felt like
he just did it.
Yes.
So was it at a shrine or in a bedroom or something?
The shrine, Miss Nancy.
At the shrine?
The shrine.
With the gods looking
yes.
on?
Apparently it's all part of the incantation, so yes, it took place in the shrine.
At the shrine.
Yes.
So on my way back, my friend told us to take the flight.
Yeah.
Since it was me, I took the flight, and wow, I met this handsome-looking MP. He's actually an MP. And, you know, he gave me his business card, and we started talking. Now, we started
No, the
dating.
miracles have started happening.
Exactly. So we started dating, and 3 weeks into the relationship, he got me a Range Rover Velar.
Range Rover Velar.
Yes, please.
Huh.
3 months later, he bought 3 fully furnished apartments in my name. I didn't ask for it. He just thought, I mean, she's my girlfriend, let me get it for her. Now, I mean, everything was super rosy. I was enjoying it. I was like, wow, I mean, that night was worth it after all.
I mean, at that point, when the 3 furnished apartments came in your name, didn't you think this is too good to be true?
I mean, I felt like maybe what I lost was the reason why I was getting all those things.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
It makes business sense,
Yes.
right?
So I was excited. I was, you know, happy and all that.
You would be.
Now, 3 months later, that is when the trouble began. I started feeling, you know, very uncomfortable. My private part was given this bad odor. Like, it's the one that when you're close to someone, they can smell it.
Oh my
So
God.
naturally, it makes you not get close to people. And I mean, as a lady, I'm like, oh, there are feminine washes over there. I could use some and I'll be fine. But I tried it and it was to no avail. Not one, not two,
It's
but
not
several.
working. But have you been to the hospital?
So yes, I visited gynecologists. Not just, oh, one gynecologist, several. But then they were like, oh, there's nothing. So they're wondering why there's a smell coming, which is that bad. So
You had a test and they could not
They couldn't
find
detect-
anything wrong
Yes,
with you, yet you still had that bad odor.
yes, please. And I had to live with it for 3 solid years.
3 years.
3 years.
Were you still with your MP boyfriend?
I mean, yes, but yes, thank you. So I was with him, but we couldn't have sexual intercourse because it was so strong that the moment we were about having it, it's like a turn-off. So
For him?
yes, so
But
like
he still kept you around?
yes, please.
Wow.
So
What a good man.
I mean, after the 3 years down the lane, I happened to be at a church program, and the pastor told me that something I did in the past, and he actually gave a vivid explanation that it was actually because I slept with a fetish priest. That is why I was having that bad odor emanating from my private part. Now, he gave a solution actually. Very simple. People may think. He said that if I was ready to let go of all the riches I have currently, every single thing, the odor will go away. I mean, Miss Nancy, I feel like I've been enjoying this money. Like, it's super nice, it's super cool. Like, life has been so comfortable. And I wouldn't want to go back to the days where I had to be struggling with my sister. Because now that I got
Poverty
comfortable,
is not a good thing.
yes, now that I got comfortable, I've been able to help my sister and everything. So I feel like losing everything would be very difficult. We are going back to square one. But then, if I don't lose it, that smell is also not going to go away. Yes, and I also don't feel comfortable living with it. Right now, I'm in a dilemma. I really need help. I really need some.
Oh, darling, you do need help. There is money. There is everything she ever hoped for. The luxurious, comfortable life that she thinks she deserves. She paid dearly to have all of this, and she thought that would be enough payment. Now, she has to live with this. I was curious. Na asem na jeminsem. Now that is the story of the young lady. This story has been trending all over the internet, and everybody is wondering what at all people are looking for. And I asked, what would you do for money? What would you do to change your life? oh here yo a comma yeah. But I know that with this conversation I need a mature lady to join us so that she can communicate effectively what exactly women of today are after. Lady Reverend Sheila Osei-Tutu, people, let us welcome her. You look elegant. I'm glad that a beautiful young lady, hardworking, industrious. See, you're welcome.
Thank you so much, Miss Nancy.
Awesome. So, this is the young lady. She wanted to turn her life around. She went in, and now she has a horrible vaginal odor to deal with. And somebody, a pastor, is suggesting to her, let go of all the things you've acquired, and you will be fine. And she's not satisfied, and she's still seeking for help. And that's why she came on Confessions there. What would, I mean, in that times and seasons, what are the girls doing for money?
A lot.
A lot, huh?
A lot of, I would say, lack of a better word, devilish stuff to make it. I think ladies of nowadays want a faster life. They do not want to go through, you know, the real way to get there. So they do devious things to get there. And don't forget, when the devil gives you something, definitely he will take something back. It is only God who gives it, and he gives it freely.
That's why I love Christianity. Oh, my God is gracious. Put your hands together for our God. He gives it and freely.
Yes, so with this, I would say she shouldn't let go of everything, if you ask me, because how probably she started it wasn't the right way. So you have to let go of everything, start afresh, pray to God for forgiveness, and I'm sure God will make a way for her, because obviously how she started the journey was wrong. So it will end wrongly. So if she lets go of everything, God will see her through.
Amen.
That's my view.
Amen. Thank you. All right. Pastor?
Okay, thank you, Miss Nancy. The reality is I want to take it from what we term existential perspective. That is the implication of this story. One, a lot of young people have this so-called mentality that there's a power somewhere that will make me rich. There's something to do that will fast-track riches.
But the boys have been driving the Mercedeses,
Miss
the
Nancy,
Range Rovers.
Miss Nancy, I come to that point, following from what Lady Reverend said. They are dying. I grew up in Adabraka, born and bred, when these things started. So I know people who have died, who are dying. When you have money and you don't have the context to enjoy the money, that is slavery.
It is.
So if I get all the money and I can enjoy the money, slavery. And that is what she's going through now. So please and please, young people out there, whoever out there, there is no way. Hard work, hard work. And secondly, let's define what is material. And sometimes, Lady Reverend and we ministers are a problem also to this. Because we tend to present a certain, God have blessed you, you have to ride in a Range Rover. You see, God have blessed me, I'm living
Sign
in
the
Transapco,
checks.
and I go to take lunch at Lancaster, I go to TV3, I come here, I go there. That is a blessing. False, that is not the blessings of God. Only. The blessing of God is to be alive, to be able to walk,
health.
to be in good health. And that is a blessing of God also. So the so-called prosperity gospel, so-called, where we project that if butter my bread, sugar my cocoa, so wonders Jesus the do. Even in the church, come to church, everything a double. Come to church and you'll be blessed. But tell the person, go and work.
And be saved.
Save. Put in effort. Then to the issue again, if you have gone for something from anywhere and it's causing you to have some spiritual so-called, take it back, be free.
Take it back.
Live
Just
your
take
life
it back.
and be free.
And be free. Counselor? Yes, I'm Kelly, sorry.
I avoided holding the mic many times, but they kept bringing it to me. So, because there are some things I'd rather want to contain myself not to say. See, not everyone needs counseling.
Some need what?
Some need canes. It's not counseling certain people need. It's cane. It's biblical. You see, you are laughing. You see, spare the rod and spoil the child. What happened to this girl's background? How was she raised? Who raised her? The caning should start from that person or those individuals. Because this is a product of your mess that you may not be alive to clean up. So this is a clear case of lack of life fundamentals from the roots. You see, another one says that train a child when he will grow, and when he departs, when he grows, he will not depart from it. Train up a child in a way. You can't train two children the same way. So there's a particular way to train a particular child based on the traits you are seeing. There are some children without anything, they are very, very content with themselves. There are some children who are outgoing, who want this, who want that. That's a clue to say, hey, there's a way to raise this kind of a child. Train a child in the way. There's always a particular way to raise a particular child.
Thank you. All your children are not the same, and you need to know how to treat and train every child. I will take this break. When I come back, more. Welcome back. This is Confessions on TV3. It's been an amazing evening, and we have been reviewing some very interesting stories that did make the trend in 2022, and it's been my delight to be bringing the spotlight on these social issues that we were almost ignoring. We thought were inexistent. Some of us, it's out of our imagination. But these were realities that were going on. Councillor Dumata.
Yes, ma'am.
We're talking about people wanting the fast life.
Yeah.
And then we come back to the society, you realize that even back at home, the moment you get a few monies to be sending home, everybody starts calling you mama. And your mother will call you mama. The reverence we give to people with money in our society, whether they are irresponsible, disrespectful, they are rude, people do not care about virtues anymore. The moment you have money in your hands, you become oga, you become a leader in the church, you become somebody relevant in the society.
Miss Nancy,
sir,
this is unfortunate. And this is killing the entire society, the entire country, and the entire family. I have examined when I was young. Now, in the home, when daddy speaks, same language mommy speaks. When mommy says it, daddy says say. So there is that unison.
Yeah.
Now it's not there. That's where it starts from. When mommy says this, daddy says no. Or daddy goes this way, mommy says, oh,
the politics with the children.
Fantastic. So it starts from there. Now, here we are. They see you as if you can provide me uska. Sika so die sika ede. Obi apeska. But unfortunately, we are not questioning where is the money coming from. Who gave you? How come you got it? All that we are interested is that, oh, sika. There was this music some time ago. They said, and this has permeated into our entire social life. It's killing us. But you see, we need to understand that it is not all about money.
Yeah.
Miss Nancy, sikasa, sikashe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where is he getting it from? This is what we are supposed to be asking. Yeah. And Kelly made a very fantastic point. It is the home. Where lies the discipline? What is the language we speak at home? What is it that mommy, daddy is saying? Where is the line we are all following? Now it's about, show now for no, that the competition sets in. Akwesi has gotten this money. This has gotten money. So what are you also doing? So you see, it propels you to do something weird. Let's come back home and let's try to get our own ethics going.
These were the stories that you enjoyed all through the years and more. We just wanted you to know the work that we're doing and the impact that we're having on society. Parents, we're calling your attention. Church leaders, we're calling your attention. As a nation, we're calling the attention of traditional leaders, our politicians, and we're asking that let us help promote the fact that life is a process and that contentment is essential. This has been Confessions on TV3. My name is Miss Nancy, and official, I love you.